Hello, Fabric community. Get ready to dive into this month's Fabric update. I'm Patrick LeBlanc, Principal Program Manager, Azure Data at Microsoft. This month's update brings a range of new features and improvements to the Fabric platform. We have several key improvements and changes to help make your Fabric experience even better. Before I dive into this month's update, I want to share with you that we will be bringing FabCon to Europe in September with 10 full-day tutorials, a partner pre-day, more than 120 sessions from the product team and the community. And don't forget our swag-filled Power Hour. FabCon will be landing in Vienna, Austria on September 15th through the 18th. Hope to see you there. Now, check out aka.ms/FCE for all the details and register with code FabCom. That's FABCOMM to save €200. Now let's get into the features that are generally available in Fabric this month. To start the GA features, Fabric Spark Monitoring APIs. The GA release of the Fabric Spark Monitoring APIs brings significant enhancements, including new single Spark application APIs, advanced filtering, and additional application level properties for deeper insights. Now production ready, these APIs enable comprehensive, scalable, and automated monitoring and optimizations of Spark workloads. Next up, Fabric Spark Run Series Analysis. This release offers expanded features such as run series comparisons, outlier analysis, and detailed insights into individual job runs, empowering users to better monitor and optimize recurring Spark workloads at enterprise scale. Also this month, Fabric Spark Lively APIs are generally available. The Fabric Spark Lively API enables users to submit and run Spark code directly on Spark Compute, integrated with Lakehouse artifacts and OneLake data. It supports 2 execution modes: session jobs for interactive and stateful runs, and batch jobs for single stateless execution. The API now offers both SPN and user authentication for enhanced security. Next up in the GA section is Refresh SQL Analytics Endpoint Metadata REST API. It's GA. This API allows you to automatically refresh your SQL Analytics endpoint to keep tables synchronized with changes in your Lakehouse and databases. So if I make a change in my Lakehouse and I go run the query, I want to see all those changes when I run my query. By simply providing the workspace and endpoint IDs, you can track synchronization status, timing, and error details for each table. This is a big one. And finally, in the GA section, save a new Dataflow Gen 2 with CI/CD support for a Dataflow Gen 2. A lot of words. So this new Save As feature in Microsoft Fabric Dataflow Gen 2 allows users to quickly duplicate an existing Dataflow Gen 2 as a new CI/CD enabled item, streamlining the process and preserving all settings. This eliminates the need for manual recreation or template import, making CI/CD integration easier and more efficient. Let's jump into the preview features. First up, serve real-time predictions seamlessly with ML model endpoints. Fabric now enables real-time predictions using machine learning model endpoints that are secure, scalable, and require minimal setup. Users can deploy, customize, and test these endpoints easily via a REST API or the Fabric interface, streamlining integration into real-time applications. Want to learn more about this? Check out this demo from Aaron.
In this demo, I'm preparing a customer analysis report. I need to use a machine learning model to add predictions for customers at risk of churning. With Fabric, I can easily use model endpoints to do so. A member of my data science team already trained this classification model. It accepts inputs related to customer demographics and account information, and it returns a value indicating whether the customer is likely to churn. If I want to work in Spark, I can always generate batch predictions in a notebook and then write them to my Lakehouse. There are code templates here in the product to get me started. But in this case, I want to use online endpoints to serve real-time predictions. In Fabric, endpoints come as built-in properties of my models. I can activate them directly from the interface in a single click. It's just as simple as that. Fabric spins up and manages the underlying container infrastructure, allowing me to focus on serving predictions at scale with no hassle. Endpoints can be managed and queried from a REST API, but I can also get sample predictions right in the product. Fabric lets us send test requests with this form-based experience. We can enter custom input values or submit random values just to check that our model is returning predictions as we expect. We can send multiple rows at once and get predictions that way. And there's also a JSON editor if we want to paste in larger sample payloads. Within a few minutes, the endpoint for my latest model version should now be active. Every version has a dedicated URL that can be used to serve predictions from that version explicitly. In our model settings, we have another URL that returns predictions from a default version, which we can configure. As our data science team iterates, training new model versions, we can update this URL to route calls to the latest and greatest version without needing to switch anything downstream. In this case, I'm going to call my model endpoint from a Fabric data flow to update the table displayed in my Power BI report. These columns contain the inputs that my model expects. Using a custom query in my data flow, I can feed the clean data to my churn model endpoint and generate a new column of predictions. I'll paste in that URL that I've copied from my model endpoint, and then I'll route the data to the endpoint with my custom query and hit invoke. I'll give Power Query a moment, and then just like that, our endpoint has returned predictions in a new column. I'll scroll over and see that each row now has a value indicating whether the customer is likely to churn. Back in my report with my data flow published, I'll now get these churn predictions and I can overlay them on my visuals. I'll use a slicer. That way my team can drill into the segment of users who seem likely to churn or not to churn and identify trends. With model endpoints, you can make predictive insights available anywhere, whether you need them in a custom web app or in another Fabric experience like this one.
Great demo, Aaron. Next up, expanded data agent support for large data sources. Data agents now support adding Kusto, semantic model, lakehouses, and warehouse data sources with large schemas, over 100 columns or measures, and 1,000 tables, enabling integration of large databases and models for deeper insights. Want to learn more? Check out this demo.
I have a data source here that contains records of patients from my private practice within the patient's medical records data table shown below. My goal is to connect this data to the data agent so I can get LLM-powered insights about my patients. However, this dataset is relatively large, and as you can see, this table contains a total of 103 columns, which exceeds the previous limits in the data agent. However, I could go ahead and go into the data agent, click on Add Data Source, click on my lakehouse that we want to work with, and hit Add. And after a few seconds, Data Agent would validate this data source and successfully add this table without blocking on any type of schema limits. And I could even go further and select this table as an input to the data agent. I will get a warning that says that there are too many columns and it may reduce the accuracy of my results. Regardless, I could select this table anyway and start asking questions about my data. For example, how many of my patients have diabetes? After asking the question, the data agent will take a few seconds to analyze this table, figure out that it needs to look at this specific table, and give me an output that tells me that I have 30 patients who have diabetes. And I could take a look at the steps that it took to get this result and see that it used the patient medical records table that I wanted and had submitted a relatively correct SQL query that got the result.
Great demo. Next up, Fabric Spark Applications Comparison. The new Spark Applications Comparison features in preview allows users to compare up to 4 Spark runs side by side, making it easier to spot performance issues and analyze key metrics. If you're working with Spark applications, definitely a feature you want to check out. Also in preview this month, Job Insight Diagnostics Library. Job Insight is a Java-based tool for Microsoft Fabric notebooks that analyzes completed Spark jobs, offers interactive analysis, and provides access to event logs for performance insights and diagnostics. It streamlines troubleshooting and helps teams quickly identify and address Spark job issues. Next up is something that I'm super excited about, and I've been waiting for this a long time. Copy into and open row set from OneLake. Think about this. Microsoft Fabric Data Warehouse now supports a preview of copy into and open row set from the OneLake, enabling secure workspace governed data integration and file querying with SQL without needing external storage, complex permissions, or Spark. So let's say I'm writing my data to a folder in the OneLake, like text files or JSON files. I can use open row set to query that, or I can just copy it directly into the warehouse. This is a major enhancement, and I've been waiting for this. Also available in preview this month is read JSON lines format with open row set. Microsoft Fabric Data Warehouse now lets you query JSON lines files directly with open row set, allowing T-SQL access to data in Azure Data Lake or Fabric OneLake without any extra steps. Also available this month in preview is a visual experience for SQL audit logs in Microsoft Fabric Data Warehouse. Users can set up logging, pick event types, and configure retention policies without advanced setup. This feature helps teams manage audit logs directly within the platform. And the last preview feature this month of this long list of preview features, you can now use Python notebooks to read and write to Fabric SQL databases. Python notebooks in Microsoft Fabric now support direct reading from and writing to SQL databases using the T-SQL magic command. This integration enables users to run T-SQL queries, visualize results, automate workflows, and securely collaborate within a single workspace. I can't wait to use them.
This demo, I want to show you how easy it is for you to connect to SQL database from a notebook. One important thing that we need to remember is when we create the notebook, we need to make sure that we have selected Python as the language. And in each cell, we have to make sure we change it to T-SQL. In each cell, we have to make sure we are putting %% T-SQL, and then the artifact name, the database that we want to go after, and we have to say the type as SQL database. Those are some mandatory items that we have. So let's click on start. All right, looks like the database got created. Let's create one more cell and see automatically defaults to Python. So I have to go back and I need to change it to T-SQL. And I need to make sure that I have this in the first line. My table is created and I want to add some values in my table. So I'll be doing a couple of inserts here. All right, so it looks like everything got inserted. I would like to do one more item here. Let's see if our data went through or not. All right. All right, so it looks like all the data went in.
That wraps up this month's Fabric updates. We love to hear from you in the Fabric community forums. Head over to aka.ms/Fabric community, where you can share your thoughts, ask questions, and connect with others. Or if you just want some quick help, visit aka.ms/Fabric for expert advice. Okay, so if you're new here, if this is your first time visiting the Microsoft Fabric channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. And as always, from Microsoft and myself, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next month.